Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Yesterday in one of my videos, I briefly mentioned the headline that's on your screen. This comes from investing.com. BlackRock rumored to shift crypto focus from Bitcoin to XRP. Now, the problem here is that, okay, yes, this is a rumor. That's true. This is a rumor, but they started the rumor. Like this website started the rumor. I'll give you the full background actually, because I didn't really get into it in serious depth yesterday, but I want to now because this has gotten out of control. It continues to circulate. And I also want to give credit to a couple of my fellow XRP YouTubers for on their own just calling this crap out. And I think it's the right way to handle this. And they did it tactfully also. You don't have to go on some sort of attacking rampage to let people know, hey, this stuff isn't true. And so I like the way that it was handled. I also want to share with you perspective from a community member who disagrees with me and everyone, who says that it's too far to say that this isn't true because we can't prove it, which I think is a logical misstep, but it's a fun discussion also. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And folks, I'll also tell you, it's times like these that I am extra thankful that I have the platform that I do so that I can push back against this nonsense. And I'm going to give you the full story as to where this actually came from, because I only sort of touched on it yesterday. But I also didn't get into the specifics of this article because it was so laughable. But then I just kept seeing it getting proliferated further and further and further throughout the community. I'm just like, this isn't good. This is not helping people in our community to learn truth. Like, this isn't real news here. This is crap. And so check out this article, which, by the way, is generated from artificial intelligence. And it was reviewed. It says right here at the bottom. Here, look at this. This article was generated with the support of artificial intelligence (AI) and reviewed by an editor. Now, I will say, moving forward, I think that we should expect, just in general, all sorts of articles to be generated by artificial intelligence, and it's going to be up to reputable news outlets to make sure that there are actual, real facts in the thing, which is not exactly what happened here. So maybe we're not used to articles being written by artificial intelligence, but I think it's going to be the norm, and it's going to be trusted moving forward. We just need to make sure that it's stuff that's fact-based. So that in and of itself doesn't necessarily spook me. People are ripping on that, and that's fine. I get it. It's just not something that we're used to, but it's going to be. AI is going to be everywhere. It's going to completely change the world, and it's not too much to say that. But either way, again, this is not the way to go about it. So check this out, and this is how the article reads. In the ever-evolving cryptocurrency landscape, rumors suggest that BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with over $9 trillion in assets under management, may be reassessing its digital asset strategy. The financial giant is speculated to be considering a shift in focus from Bitcoin, the leading digital currency, to XRP, a digital asset primarily known for its payment protocol. Several factors are believed to be driving this speculated shift, including the changing regulatory environment surrounding cryptocurrencies, advancements in technology, and a possible intention to diversify their digital asset portfolio. While these rumors remain unconfirmed, they could carry substantial implications for the broader digital asset landscape if proven accurate. Okay, so folks, think about this. And you'll see later when I get to, it was just a fun debate, nothing against the guy that was arguing against. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But think about this. Hey, it's unconfirmed, but hey, what if it's true? Oh, okay. So think about this. If that strikes you as okay because they write that it's unconfirmed, what if I told you this? What if I told you that Ripple's on-demand liquidity, it uses Bitcoin. It does not use XRP anymore. Would you just start reposting that all over X, formerly known as Twitter? Would you start doing that? Would you believe it? Would you think there's something to it if I just said the thing? Or would that be such a big claim that perhaps you'd want some evidence? Would you just believe it? Or would you say that it's okay for me to do that because you can't prove that it's wrong? Right? I mean, you can prove it's wrong. I'm making the claim. I'm making the claim. Let's say I'm not actually doing this, but let's say I was. Let's say I'm making the claim that Bitcoin is using on-demand liquidity. There's been this big change. You just don't know it. It's super duper triple top secret. Or I could even word it like this. It's a rumor, but hey, looks like, hey, Would you call me out for that, or would you just say, since I called it a rumor and since you can't prove that it's wrong, it's just okay for me to say whatever the hell I want? Well, hopefully, hopefully all of you would agree that that would be irresponsible and bad and stupid, because there's literally nothing to this. Anyway, Peace continues. XRP has been steadily gaining traction in financial circles due to its potential applications in various financial services, particularly in cross-border transactions. A pivot by BlackRock towards XRP could not only increase the digital asset's market value, but could also significantly enhance its credibility within the financial services sector. This possible shift in BlackRock's investment strategy could also reflect a broader market trend as the cryptocurrency landscape matures. Both retail and institutional investors are increasingly diversifying their portfolios to include a variety of digital assets. This development potentially opens up opportunities for alternatives to Bitcoin, which, despite being a pioneer in the crypto world, has grappled with challenges related to scalability and environmental concerns. So then you get this headline, though, from You Today, and this is just like a bravo for You Today. Not that they always get everything right, but wow, they knocked this one out of the park. This is like among the most impressive responses to this tripe. It's a tripe like this that I've ever seen in crypto media. So the headline here, no, BlackRock is not buying XRP. Recently, a rumor suggesting that BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with over $9 trillion in assets under management, might be pivoting its digital currency strategy from Bitcoin to XRP, caught fire on the X social media platform. However, closer inspection reveals the rumor lacks credible sourcing, and it's clear that excitement among the XRP community was unwarranted. Folks, this is spot on. I love this. This is music to my ears, because I just want to believe whatever the hell's true. Don't you? Right? I hope the answer is yes. The origin of this buzz appears to be a tweet from a fake news account, Wall Street Bulls, that speculated on a shift in, quote, shift in institutional confidence towards more sustainable and efficient digital assets, end quote. This was further amplified by a story on investing.com, which claimed BlackRock was re-evaluating its stance on Bitcoin in favor of XRP without citing any sources. Yeah, and so I'll say this, as far as Wall Street Bulls, and actually did cover that particular post yesterday, just very briefly, they said something along those lines, and it's because they got something twisted from a Forbes article, so far as I can tell anyway. But the investing.com article took it way further, wording it definitely differently than Wall Street Bulls. So I think that it really was investing.com that really got this going, the truth be told. Anyway, article continues. The narrative was uncritically picked up by prominent accounts within the XRP community, adding fuel to the speculative fire. Despite this, some members of the crypto community, like Mason, have called for caution, urging investors to believe nothing until you see solid evidence. Yeah, and so I want to give some credit where it is due. Here is my fellow XRP YouTuber Mason, who wrote, "Breaking: false rumors are being being spread about BlackRock buying XRP. Believe nothing until you see solid evidence, folks." Crypto news sites have been writing wild headlines on Ripple and XRP lately because they get clicks. So credit to where it's due. And I'm glad he shared that. 166,000 followers on X. So that's great. And then here you have the Bearable Bull, my fellow XRP YouTuber, 277,000 followers on X. You'd love to see this also. He simply wrote, "There is zero evidence BlackRock is buying XRP." Breath of fresh air. And unfortunately, you do still have big accounts propagating this stuff here. This is Whale, at Whale Chart, 379,000 followers, sharing the investing.com article here. And this is just several hours ago. So I was writing that this, I was talking, I made a video about it yesterday. And then I just was hoping it wouldn't spread further, but it picked up. It picked up and was spread more. So I'm like, well, I guess we're talking about this. Let's go further in depth and try and swat this thing down. But again, that was several hours ago. So 379,000 followers, and they're putting this nonsense out here. So I responded, and I think that this is the right way to approach this. Like, when people say this stuff, it's okay to correct the record. Just don't go into attack mode. Like, I don't think that doing that is going to be useful in general. So have tact, just be direct. Because so some people, I think that they propagate this knowing it's not true or not believing it because they just don't care. But there are also people who I think just are operating in good faith. Maybe they're a little bit exuberant, and they just like, oh, this sounds awesome, and then they post it. It seems like it's from a trusted source. And so there's some people who are trying to act, properly, and they're just getting it wrong. And, we're all humans, so that can happen. So I'm pretty damn forgiving. As long as people aren't being malicious about it or posting stuff that they don't believe or that they know isn't true, then okay. But since you can't tell who is who necessarily, my approach in general is just like, if it's wrong, be tactful, be direct, let people know. But we do need to call it out. We do need to. Because it's not good. I mean, being apathetic to in theory, not hurt somebody's feelings is pretty limp-wristed. That's pretty weak sauce. Like, just be tactful, be an adult, and just say it, which is what I did here. So I just responded matter-of-factly. I wrote to Whale and said, this is a bogus headline that you've shared, perfectly detailed as to why in this article from you today. And then I tagged the article. Again, that's no BlackRock is not buying XRP. And then I wrote, please delete your post so as to not confuse or mislead anyone. And they've obviously not done that. I don't suppose that they're going to at this point, because there's just a sea of people calling them out. So I also wrote to the Bearable Bull and said, thank you, Bull. Breath of fresh air. We deserve and should expect more rigorous due diligence from our community, especially from people with large followings. And he wrote back to me and said, it's hard to get things right sometimes when people make mistakes and get excited. Speculation is fine, but facts matter. Yeah, and so he's spot on there. I don't have any critique of that. All I could do is sit there and agree. That's absolutely correct. We all make mistakes. Sometimes people do get a little excited, and without fact-checking anything, you repost it, and especially if it comes from what you believe is a trusted source. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Did the mic pick that up? This little bitch Siri on my phone just started talking. You little bitch, I'm making a video on... No, stop it! What is going... Shut up! What is going on here? Knock it off. Oh, I hate it when that happens. What did I say that made that little bitch think I was talking to her? Do not speak unless spoken to. Jesus. I'm trying to make a hot jam all up in here. But anyway, yeah, I totally agree with the Bearable Bull. And then I reposted that, and I wrote, now this is something worth reposting, and he's 100% correct. There's so much fake news being circulated about BlackRock ditching Bitcoin for XRP. Ain't happening. We don't need to circulate lies to make XRP sound exciting. The reality of XRP is more than sufficient. I believe the right thing to do is politely correct the record when we come across these posts by replying to such posters. For some, it's an honest mistake. I believe truth and reality matter. That's why we should expect better within our incredible community. That's my 2 cents. Now, there's an XP community member who goes by the name Utility, at UtilityFTW, who pushed back against what I was saying there, and nothing against him. We can respectfully disagree on this, but I thought it was a fun back and forth, and I love thoughtful discourse, which is exactly what this was. I never mind people sharing their perspective if it's different than mine. I don't hate people because they believe things that are different than me. As long as people are being tactful, it's all fun. But I'm going to try and persuade you that I'm right and he's not right, and he's got his points, and maybe some of you will find him more persuasive than me, and that's perfectly fine. So he's responding to a post where I wrote here, where I was reposting from the Bearable Bull saying, now this is worth reposting, and he's 100% correct. I already read it to you. It's also on your screen again here. But Utility doesn't agree with me, and he says, it's not necessarily a lie. Currently, it's an unsubstantiated claim, which may prove to be true or false. And so, folks, think about what I was saying earlier in the video when I said, okay, so it's not a lie. We can't just call it untrue, right? You can't say it's untrue. You can't say it's a lie unless you can prove that the thing they're stating is not true. What if it's unfalsifiable because people are just making it up? So, again, it goes back to what if I said, by the way, folks, breaking news here. I can make a video about this. Ripple's no longer using XRP in ODL. Ripple's no longer using XRP in ODL. They're just using Bitcoin now. You're going to call me a liar? You prove that I'm lying. You prove it. Can you imagine if that's the world we operate in? And so here's what I wrote to him. Because, I just the articles, they're so silly. So I wrote, nah, it's made up nonsense. BlackRock recently filed a spot Bitcoin ETF. They're not ditching Bitcoin. It's a wild claim, and I don't recommend giving cover to any fake news outlet that reports it. They then add in the same story that BlackRock is buying XRP instead because our community is huge and news hungry, so they know such lies will get tons of clicks. I don't like them taking advantage of our community by lying, so I won't give them a pass on this. BlackRock will likely support other cryptos beyond Bitcoin in the future, I speculate, but today making a firm claim it's happening now is just unsubstantiated BS. We deserve better. And by the way, folks, I should have expanded upon that because it's not just whether or not they're making a firm claim. I don't care if they're saying it's a rumor. Because I could even say it's a rumor that Ripple's ODL no longer uses XRP. It's using Bitcoin. It's using Bitcoin now. That's the rumor. Hey, I'm just the messenger, right? Just like investing.com. They're just the messenger. This is the world you want to live in? Not me, folks. Utility wasn't persuaded by me, though, and wrote back to me and said, if I had to bet, I'd agree and say it's made-up nonsense also. But making the claim it's made-up nonsense requires a burden of proof. It's simply unsubstantiated. Taking a firm position either way is not logically sound, and remaining unconvinced of the claim is the rational position. Okay, so folks, some of you might find that on the surface to be compelling. I'm going to try, if you do, okay, I'm going to try and persuade you that it's not, because that just doesn't make a lick of sense to me. And here's why. So, expanding upon this, I wrote, that's not right. The burden of proof is on the person making the claim, not the person observing the claim. So, folks, think about this. Can you imagine if we lived in a world where no matter what anyone said, you couldn't just come out and say it's not true, no matter how wild it was? Can you imagine if that's the standard? Because it's pretty wild. If you're saying that BlackRock, even if you're circulating and saying, hey, even if you're going to do that, that's a pretty big claim. So so it's like what you're telling me, BlackRock, the world's largest firm in terms of assets under management, $10 trillion. So they recently filed a spot Bitcoin ETF. So they're no longer following through with that, but that news hasn't come out yet. And they're shifting all of their purchasing and focusing and all that into XRP specifically. That would be earth-shattering news. That's a big-ass claim. That's not a small claim. That's not like saying, oh, yeah, I have a dog. That's like saying, because if somebody tells me I have a dog, I'd be like, oh, cool. And I just believe them because that's not that'd be a weird thing to lie about, actually. Just be like, oh, what's your dog's name? Awesome. But if it's a big claim, it's different. So then I wrote the following. Imagine I tell you I own a 50-foot tall pink camel named Fred. Are you going to defend me by saying that's nothing more than an unsubstantiated claim? Or are you going to demand proof of my wild claim? Can you prove my wild claim is not true? No, you can't. It's unfalsifiable. Same with the BlackRock/XRP nonsense. The more wild the claim, the greater the burden of proof. And clearly, the authors of these articles are acting in bad faith. So how about we just work together to call it what it is? It's BS. And folks, it really is truly unfalsifiable, the claim I would make if I were actually making that claim that I have a 50-foot tall pink camel named Fred. Fred's a cool guy. Because you could be like, I went to where you live, I didn't see it. First of all, get the hell out of my home. But I could make up any number of lies, and you wouldn't know that they're lies. You couldn't prove it anyway. I could say, yeah, well, I'm hiding. It's just such a rarity. It's such a rare animal. It's just beautiful, beautiful, majestic creature out in the wild. Making camel sounds out there, which sounds like this. That's what that actually sounds like. And it spits a lot. It spits a lot. You think normal camels spit a lot. This bitch spits up crazy nonsense. And I got to hide that bitch. That mofo is getting hidden. I don't want nobody to take my 50-foot tall pink camel named Fred. That's my BFF, bro. So I hide that little bitch. And are you going to prove that I'm lying? Can you prove that it's out there? Can you prove it? So again, folks, I think I've illustrated the point with absurdity that it doesn't make sense to hold the position that any wild claim must be taken at face value. To just not, you can't call it out because there's not proof. No, that's not how this works. The onus is on you if you make the wild claim. I firmly believe that. So again, nothing against utility. I thought it's a fun and short, critical thinking exercise. You guys can tell me if I'm persuasive. If you want to meet my 50-foot tall camel named Fred, cool dude, spits a lot, still cool. Or if you think that utility is correct, at utilityftw. Either way, let's keep pushing back against this nonsense. So there we go. That's it. That's the story. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.